Alexis Myers.
I was trying to play geography as I go over there. What is that? Oh, I'm since I was both our flights. Just doing one of those. Like if you could hold irons, lights. I suppose that might.
If some people can make their way back to the front of the room, we'll get the meeting started.
Jen not coming tonight?
I hadn't heard. I assume she's not.
See the pressure I got on me on this guy.
Mrs. Hicks?
Isn't there? I'm coming.
Take your seat.
Oh, there is more than one person.
Yes. All right, we'll call the meeting to order for the Angola Common Council, Monday, March 16th. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Coffey. Present. Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Sharkey. Councilmember Dow.
Here.
Councilmember McDermott. Here.
How about request approval of the March 2nd minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Does anybody have any unfinished business this evening? We have none on the agenda. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on to new business. We're going to move the first one to last today, so we're going to skip ahead to item number 2. Resolution number 2026-900, resolution providing for the transfer of cash to the local road and bridge matching grant fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, request approval of change order number 1 for Pokagon Utility Project Division 3 and wastewater improvement wage rate changes.
Move to approve, but I got a question.
Second.
Motion second, go ahead.
So the wage changes, was that state required or how did the wage change occur?
It's a federal, so it's a federal wage project. So I think, although Amanda's not here.
So since we did the first time, that provision went into effect and increased wages.
This is the same thing we did last time, only for this division. This was not done for this division, I believe.
I think that's what's going on.
It's like a prevailing wage or something? Is that what it is?
Yeah. We did ours of it already, I believe. Yes.
Because the way it looks, there were 3 pieces to that. 2 of them looked like they had a change order on size of piping and that stuff. But the wage one, I had the same question because it was like, is the wage because the change order on the equipment changed? And if that's the case, then you should need it. But if it's a prevailing wage.
This is I believe this is the same thing we did for the first two divisions already.
Yep.
They just hadn't started on Division 3, so now we're taking care of it because they started work on Division 3.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That's why.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? If it, don't hear objection, I think we'll do all 4 of these at the same time. Does anybody object to handling all 4 of these documents? Review and determine if Univertical LLC located at 203 Weatherhead Street is or is not in compliance with the statement of benefits for personal property resolution 2019-766, that's 5 years. Real estate improvements resolution number 2021-798, that was 10 years. Personal property resolution number 2024-865 for 5 years, and real estate improvement resolution number 2024-866 for 5 years. Isaac, would you like to fill us in, please?
Mayor, you've done such a nice job. I don't know that I have to say anything. Here, obviously, like I normally do, coming before you in recommendation that I've reviewed all of the CF1s before you based off the SB ones which are originally presented. Out of the 4, there is one that is due to expire. It's the 766 resolution. But the other ones, I feel pretty confident about. You'll be pleased with not only the number of jobs that are included in with Univertical, but also the payroll. The individual that is with me tonight, you ask all the hard questions to, is Chris Pantoro.
Yep.
I got it right. I normally try not to pronounce hard last names, so. Again, as I would instruct council, every time I'm up here, I've reviewed them. They look good to me. Ask all the hard questions to Chris.
I don't think I have any hard questions, except how's your ability to hire?
Well, it's always a struggle. We've actually started some new initiatives, some new training programs. We're now on our third group of about, on the average, 7 or 8 people that we've brought in to do like a 4-week rotation for training and getting them on the floor. We just started the third rotation, and so we've had about 15 to 18 come through, and we've probably lost 6 or 7 as of now. But we're getting a decent amount, enough to handle and not get overwhelmed and give them attention. But it's a struggle. I mean, and we don't do a whole lot of normal things, so it's not like we can bring people with a lot of experience. So we have to teach them.
OJT for you, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, we it's an uphill battle, and we're looking at we've grown about 20% people wise. So we're hovering around 90 for quite some time. Now we're about 110. I think we've got some things in the works to probably grow at least another 20 people. So if we can get them in.
I noticed one of the toughest things for everybody is the wage structure has inflated quickly for everybody, well above what the expectation was without the head count.
So
I noticed that.
I talked about that actually at our annual meeting, not directly about Univertical or any one of the companies here tonight, but kind of the GDP and wage piece. And this has been my frustration with one of the state programs, Power Up. If I can just take a minute to talk a little bit about it. One of the stipulations that have been put into the Power Up program, many of these employers are familiar with employer training grants, ETGs. You probably all remember those. $5,000 per employee or up to $50,000 per employer. That money would go typically within 2 to 3 weeks under the old program. Reimburse not only people that they would bring in to do training, but also people that they had on staff themselves that would do the training, much like Chris with folks. That program got changed to a requirement that included that the company would have to commit to a 25% wage increase post-training. What's funny is none of these employers here tonight, or nor anybody in Steuben County, would agree to a 25% wage increase. And identically, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation has no training in place that would increase an applicant by 25% of their wage after they complete the training. All of them collectively over the last 5 years have generated a wage increase of 20%, just in that 5-year period. So a lot of our employers are doing things to address not only the volatility of the employment market, but to be competitive. And we tried to share a little bit about that at our annual meeting.
Yeah, it's hard because their concept must be that you develop the employee so you make them more worthy.
You put a yard sign out front.
Yeah,
For sale.
it's like, okay, yeah, it's tough.
Yep.
So, thank you.
Entertain a motion.
Yeah, one more question. Can I ask both of you? When you have people that come into your training program and then leave, you talk to them, or they just don't come back?
Yes.
So do you get a question of why are you not sticking around in our business?
Yeah, we definitely address that.
What's
If we get a chance.
say?
We get a chance. Sometimes you get like no call, no show. And
Yeah.
a lot of times they found some upward mobility in a different industry. You know, we lose a lot to RV and stuff when they're busy. So yeah, especially with the younger generation, they have access to a lot of information, a lot of different opportunities. So, you know, we'll see. Sometimes you get some no call, no shows, but majority of the time we kind of address why.
Would it be substantially wage or
Yeah, it's
or
mostly-
job requirements, or they just find something else that fits them better?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a job. Sometimes it's because they got a big tax refund and they don't think they need to work. Sometimes it's, some of the works, the jobs that we have they're not easy jobs. A little fast paced, it's the gambit of.
I'm also guessing that you have people that work until they get one specific thing paid off.
It's a matter of motivation to work. But we do exit interviews if someone's been around. Sometimes they're looking for, upward mobility. Other times it's relocation. Sometimes it's to chase that extra pay rate for a short period of time with the RV industry. That gets a big draw, but then they're right back. If they leave well, we'll leave the door open. If they don't, then it's
Close.
Okay, thanks.
So we definitely do the same thing.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Chris, thank you.
Oh, very well.
We have a long history with Univertical since they came down from Michigan many years ago and took over a abandoned building. So, and we've had our challenges, but we've always been able to come out ahead. Take our compliments back to your team, if you would, please, and I will do that. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Let's see, without objection, I think we'll do the next two on the same reading. Review and determine if Angola Wire Products located at 803 Woolworth Street is or is not substantial compliance with a statement of benefits for personal property. Resolution number 2020-786, 5 years. Resolution number 2024-871, also for 5 years. Isaac?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Again, another great company here within the city of Angola. I've got Chris Heroy with me today. You'll have what you find in your packet, 3 CF1s, and the 2 that are specific to 2024-871 are at 2 different locations. Add them together, that's the total abatement. So Chris and his team are doing the right thing by taking the abatement and filing a piece of equipment at 2 different locations. The other abatement, 2020-786, actually is its last year reporting. So we're excited to present both of these abatements, even though it looks like 3, to you today. Chris has always provided, that company, Angola Wire, has always provided some language throughout the years about the original SB1 reporting 150 employees. There were some originally out-of-state employees that should have not been captured on that. He's captured that here. The piece I've always told you to pay really close attention to has been the payroll. What they committed to on their SB1 is a salary of $5 million at 150. At 133, they're at 7.2. So that's a better indicator than the number of individuals. They have hired the 5 required by the SB1, and working with many of our employers, we've seen, because of our older average age, we've seen some attrition, natural attrition within corporations, and those positions being, I want to shy away from the word of consolidated, but kind of repositioned within the corporation to encompass other things than just previously what they did. So Chris and his team have done a great job with committing to what was required of them on the SB1. And really responding to the demands of the market. So it would be my recommendation to move forward with that. Again, ask Chris all hard questions.
No hard questions for him, but I used to do business when I ran ITW.
Okay,
And you guys had not only on-time delivered, but high quality.
thank you. Yeah, we're still great.
Yep, thank you.
I move we find Angola Wire in substantial compliance.
Second. Motion second, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Chris, likewise with Univertical, Angola Wire, long history with your company here in town, very good corporate friends of the city of Angola. We thank you, and please pass on our compliments to your team also.
Yeah, we'll do. Appreciate the council's support. Thank you.
Top off, excuse me, can't talk tonight, top off the trifecta of reviewing Tax abatements, we have review and determine if R.R. Donnelly, located at 611 West Mill Street, is or is not in compliance with a statement of benefits for personal property. It's resolution 2018-725 for 10 years.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Again, another great company. This one is a 10-year personal property abatement, which in today's standards, I would normally not do. We try to pair that with a depreciation schedule that typically we would see companies adopt now. So I'm going to remind you that this was pre-COVID conversations. At that time, again, I don't think anybody knew that we were going into a pandemic, but this is one of the companies that has done, in my opinion, a fabulous job of trying to stay with the commitments that it gave to council. You see that in the payroll. You don't see that in employment numbers, but also transition over time with including various automated aspects into their process. This abatement itself was about a piece of equipment that was new to them, new to their industry, and opened up some doors for revenues, and they've enjoyed that. So they're on the tail end of their 10-year abatement. Their last reportable year is going to be 2029. I have Bert Eagler. Brett, I'm sorry. Dang it. I have a bird on my board. I almost had it tonight. I almost had it tonight. Dang it. Thank you. I have Brett with me. He's a new face to you, but not a new face to our organization. I've worked with him a couple times. We actually sat together and went through this. Very excited to have him in the capacity that he is with R.R. Donnelly. I expect more years of improvement in terms of what they're going to do, more years of great contribution to the city of Angola under his leadership. So again, I present to you an abatement that it is my recommendation that you approve, but ask him all the hard questions. Brett.
It's an industry that has figured out how to survive. So way to go.
34 of how many states? Is it 34 states that you have the registration tags?
Yeah, we do, over half of the states with their licensed decals, and then we do a variety of other types of registration and licensing for states, ATV tags, both stickers and so forth, so yeah.
It's always fascinating where you find product coming out of student county from. So
Entertain a motion.
Move that we find our Donnelly in compliance.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Brett, yes, your company is amazing on how it changes with the market requirements and changes with technology that's available. Sign of a well-run, well-managed company. Thank you for being long members that your company and successor companies have been down there as long as I can remember. So thank you for all you do, and
Thank you.
Must be a long time.
oh yes,
50s?
I think 57 is when that was built.
yeah. Yeah, okay, it happens to be the year I was born too, but that's a whole. So it has been there as long as I've been around. But thank you, and we were glad to have you cap off the trifecta of our favorite companies here in Angola. Now, if you folks want to head out the door, you can stick around and watch the rest of the show. It's up to you.
How do you wipe that?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jensen, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will go back to item number 1, ordinance number 1798, 2026, in order amending the City of Angola Employee Handbook, Employee Benefits, Leave Programs. This is for first reading. Sue, would you like to tell us what we're doing here, please?
Well, about 3 years ago, we decided that we needed to boost some of our recruiting efforts to provide, upon hire, PTO time. And so we did that with the ordinance that you see in front of you. And just to protect the city, I believe we needed to add this amendment, which was, we typically hire people and they stay here for their career. However, if there is somebody that doesn't stay here for at least a year with us and they have any unused PTO time, we choose not to pay that out.
That has been the practice, Sue?
No, it has not.
Okay, that's what you're,
And we're just asking that if they don't remain with us at least a year, that anything in their bank in PTO is not going to be paid out on their last check. And that's what this amendment is for.
Thank you. Entertain a motion?
I got a question. It's only if they voluntarily resign, we don't do that if they're fired?
that's back in the literature that says they don't get paid if they're termed either.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
That's the next paragraph, yes.
Never mind.
I move that we approve the proposed amendment.
Motion second, any discussion?
Yeah, get your popcorn and your pop, because I have a little bit of conversation about.
I've got my door cut. I'm ready.
Well, a little bit of this is a story of history. In my world, in my career, I was really 3 different roles over my time. One of them was I was about a third of it an individual contributor. A third of it was a supervisor that managed a group of people that had tactical daily efforts and things to do. And the other third was a manager / supervisor, because I had staff too at the same time. The hardest job I ever had was a supervisory job, honestly. Because every supervisor, when you look through, our city is very fortunate. We should be thought of as a good employer. We have vacation time, we have PTO, you have sick time. I saw that in there too. So the question is, how do you administer it? So my point is that, and you said it's used as a recruitment tool and a retention tool. The issue that I have with that, number one, that's written, and I'm not trying to poke anybody, but it's written in a punitive manner. If you really want to do that, write it a little differently, so it's more woke, But where I was going with that, as a supervisor is where I was going, and that's what I want people to think about. We've got a couple of department heads in here that are supervisors. When the city hires a full-time employee, to a supervisor, they're not a full-time employee. They're about a 2/3 employee, because they have vacation time, they have sick time, they have PTO, but your daily tasks don't ever go away. That's why supervision's hard. Okay, so my point there is, my fear was when I read this, was that to a supervisor, and I go back to my own history, I remember having people that wanted to leave for different reasons. Better job, family illness, had to move, there's a whole myriad of things like that. But the thing was, I wanted the people to be at work every day, not saying, oh, if I don't take my PTO, I lose it. I want to manage their time as a supervisor. I want them there every day, and then they can get their payout of PTO. So the question back is, and the mayor explained to us that he had an employee that kind of was here a day or two and left. Well, don't let the tail wag the dog. If you need to review that policy, that's fine. Maybe a year is too long. I don't know what you really feel, but a day is too short. I mean, I agree with you. I don't like the day thing either, because I had that kind of stuff happen with me, but I never wanted the tail to wag the dog. And as a supervisor, I wanted my employees there every day so I could count on getting my tactical work done. And then when the day came, they were done, they got whatever was due them. And that also is sounded through the community, because these folks talk about the quality level of an employer. And I hope we want to be the best employer in town. And we have to think about what we do, what we say. So I said, I read it and it's punitive to me, because if I was reading the handbook, I'm like, hey, this all sounds great until what? I don't want to be thinking about leaving. And if I do, if a personal thing comes up for me, sounds like somebody jerked us around a little bit. Well, don't let the tail wag the dog. That's all I'm going to keep saying. And think about it from the supervisor's perspective, of trying to get the job done with the limited resources they have and all their part-time employees, because that's what they are. That's what I always looked at my employees. They were part-time because I only had them 2/3 of the year. Done. I'm done. Just wanted to make the point.
So you're saying you want us to rewrite this?
I'm not gonna rewrite it. I can. I think Sue can.
Could you give me an example? I taught school. This is what we saw.
Well, first,
In fact, it was punitive. And so at the end of our careers, we had all our days, then the question was, well, this was part of our contract. This was part of the
yes.
agreement.
And our handbook is our contract.
Right, this is the agreement we made. We didn't know it, all the gun did. You didn't say you gotta do these. So how would you make it less punitive? I can't
Well,
envision
just in
that.
the wording.
I'm like, how? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, I just don't know how.
Well, I think you state what you want to get done, but so when the employee reads it, and that's my intention, when the employee or the soon-to-be employee reads it, or the possible employee reads it, that they don't stop right there and get hung up on the fact that, oh, if I quit, they're gonna ding me this. I'm of the adage that, I know we got burned for one day, but I'm of the adage that our clerk treasurer, and I'll try to come back to your point, our clerk treasurer accrues for all the stuff for every employee. All that stuff's what I always call the sunk cost, okay? All your employees, all the fees, all the costs are out there. So at the end of the day, one person burned us. I don't like rewriting the whole thing and making it punitive like that says.
Can I provide a little bit of the history behind the PTO? So when we rewrote this a few years ago, we were hiring employees who basically didn't have any days off for, I think they began accumulating like 1 day of PTO after they'd been here for 6 months. So the way the policy
Was that the vacation policy? You didn't get a vacation either?
Vacation after a year.
Vacation after a year,
so
and that's
vacation's a year.
and that's the way it still is. We're talking about the PTO though. So what would happen is we would hire employees in the middle of the year, and come like November, December-ish, all of a sudden they would have a couple PTO days and no time to take it because the year had cut so short. So we rewrote the policy to provide PTO for people who were new employees, so they would actually have some days off throughout their first year.
You did it on an accrual basis then, instead of
On a quarterly, rather than-
quarterly
yeah.
accrual, yep.
To provide them days off basically from the beginning as PTO. Now, on December 31st every year, the PTO rolls over and they get new PTO days. And PTO is a use it or lose it situation. So if they have PTO days left in December, they don't get paid out.
Oh, so right now it's a use it or lose it completely?
Yeah.
Well, there's an opportunity.
So that's the history behind this. We're talking about new employees didn't have anything to begin with. So this was provided. So this is going back to adjust it for the situation that wasn't thought of because we would hire people and they'd work here for long term.
Yeah.
So that's what this is, an adjustment to take care of that, because I don't think our current employees would necessarily think it's fair that somebody comes to work for a couple days and then quits and then has 6 PTO days they're getting paid for after they, so that's what this is to adjust and correct the policy that was enacted to begin with to provide something for new employees. So.
I don't, and excuse me, I'm sorry, Ryan, let me interrupt. I don't believe that, that our current employees would even find this as not being fair. I really don't believe that that's the case at all. In my almost 20 years here, I've never had anybody quit after 2 days. So we may never have this again.
Yeah.
However, it was kind of a hit to us. And yeah, it may sound punitive, but I think it's kind of legal labor law that you have to kind of spell it out. It might look a little punitive, but again, I don't believe that any of our employees would feel that this is unfair.
I also think that, excuse me, I also think that the new employees will see what they have before they agree to work. So in other words, they know the rules of the game going into employment.
Yeah, and don't misunderstand it. If they use all their 6 days within that first year, they can do that.
Right.
If they've used their days that they've been awarded before they get their new time, we don't take that back. They get to use that time with their department head's approval.
Right.
Yeah.
I look at it from a different perspective, Chuck. As somebody that sat on a bench and passed judgment, I like things that said what it meant. and this says what it means. I have no problem with this. It's very easy to understand. And I've read a lot of things that weren't, and those are always subject to interpretation. I don't think this.
Well, don't get me wrong, and anybody, because I'm only coming at this from a supervisory standpoint. If I was running the show, how do I keep my people here all the time? That was where I was coming from. So we do not pay out sick PTO days at the end of the year?
No.
No.
It's use it or lose it, the same way with vacation. We don't,
Have
we
a
don't,
tough role as supervisors. Holy moly.
Well, people gotta have some time to their.
They do. I agree with you. You know, we grew up.
Here long.
yeah.
We grew up in today's world, you're right. We grew up in the era where you
Yes.
had to work the first year before you got a day off. I remember that.
I worked 10 years before I got a week's vacation of my own
Yeah.
at my last factory job.
Yeah, quality of life is an important thing, especially in today's world.
Yep.
So,
And I think that's why we have a lot of the employees that we currently have, is the benefits that we give. And it's truly hearing the sounding board from what we had to what we currently have is absolutely awesome. So the punitive part, I couldn't disagree more with you. From my aspect, having most of the employees for the city in one department, they know exactly what they have, and it's laid out in front of them black and white. And it has truly been awesome to be here, to work here for 26 years and see the progression of how we have gotten better. It is hands down one of the best places I've ever worked in my life.
And Chuck, if you think about it too, what happened that the mayor was telling you about really affected that department too. It put those guys in a bad spot, and they would have just as soon had this in place before that. So I think you'll see that our employees would support this.
good. I mean, that was what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah.
That the supervisors and everybody was okay.
Yep.
Yep.
All in all,
Oh, yeah.
our workers are very good. They don't abuse their time off, so they.
Yeah. I didn't know how to get this information out without saying this.
No, we
This
did
doesn't
good.
affect anybody except for anybody under a year.
Right.
Once you're here a year, yeah.
You have all benefits available. That's right. I got you.
Well, you have all benefits when you're hired. It's just if you leave us what I would call prematurely.
Yeah.
And we were all very thankful when the PTO went into play, as Ryan said, because we didn't used to. And so now when you're hiring somebody, if they've been at another job for a few years, they have vacation time. We ask them to come here with no vacation time, but they get 6 PTO days right up front. And that's so helpful to be able to say, you don't get your vacation till that first year, but man, if you've got a family issue, if you need some time off, if you've already planned a vacation, here you go. So that is very helpful because that didn't used to happen until Sue came up with that, so.
We ready for the question?
Yes.
We have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Clerk's depository statement and cash reconcilement for the month ending February 2026 is presented for your information. Reports, clerk treasurer.
Nothing for me.
Kim.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Retha.
I put this door information sheet, and some of you guys have the wrong one. I'll give it to you at the end, but because it doesn't have the backside, sorry. But this is just to start the information and the discussion again. So you are going to see the door district. We started it a while ago, had a few snags, kind of had to hit the pause button for a while. We are revisiting this, working on it. Allison, our community coordinator, has been working really hard. So she put this information sheet together so that we could kind of start conversations again and say, hey, this is going to be coming back up in front of you. If you've got questions, please see us, talk to us. But as we work through this, we'll keep you updated. I'll have Allison come when we're ready to present it. But we have had a lot of businesses ask us if we can get the door district done. They want it done in the downtown. And so outside of those few snags, I think we're ready to go. We've remapped again and kind of worked around some things. So just a heads up on that.
You have a timeline?
We are hoping, so we've got to get a few things, you have to have a sanitation plan in place, so we've got to get trash cans purchase. I need to talk to Chad and make sure he's willing to change 4 more cans on Friday mornings. And just a couple other, just a few little
No
things,
timeline.
but we're hoping to be ready by June or July.
It'd be wonderful before big events come in.
Yeah, we'd like to be ready for July, and we'll be ready for the cruise in. And then, like I said, the downtown businesses are really anxious. So I think once we finalize and get a few things, with us being in some of our door district being on the state highway, we've got to go through NDOT for signage. So there's just a couple things, but we're plugging away. So you'll see it again soon.
Could you get us a map of downtown of where you're kind of,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we can kind of spatially see?
It looks a little bit funky, but we had to stay 300 feet from churches, so we had to kind of maneuver.
Sure.
But yeah, absolutely. I will get you. Nick has been working and helping with that, so I'll get that to you.
Is there a communication plan in place for the community?
Yeah, I think this is the start of it. We will also put out some information on social media and get it to the newspaper and get it around, just so people understand what it is.
And that it's happening, because it's been
Yeah.
talked about before, it's
It's
not
happened,
new.
and here's the thing, when we first started this, not very many communities had their door district in place. So we kind of learned from some of what was going on what to do, and again, we hit the pause button for a while, but now Hamilton has a door district. I mean, there's door districts all over the place, so it really isn't a huge deal. It's just getting ours set up and making sure everything's in place.
I think it'd be good also to go to some civic organizations to explain what it might be.
Yes, that's the couple of our things of jumping through is making sure that we're visiting a few places just so they understand exactly what it is, and then a couple of our civic organizations, talking to them just in case there's questions. But again, it's a pretty common thing right now, so
Most people are familiar.
I think most people are, yeah.
Is there any issue, I noticed you had it down there about it could result in, law enforcement intervention if you didn't follow the actual spelled out district, but does it entail any more security?
No, not really. Most of the communities that we've talked to have said that, in the beginning and during events, it's super exciting at first, and then it really just, people don't even pay attention. I've been to several door districts downtown Fort Wayne and some other ones. And you don't really notice, except you're in a special cup. So quite honestly, and Chief Whitmire can attest to this, I think that there really is not an open container law to walk around unless you're publicly intoxicated. But so this actually puts a little more control inside our door district versus just kind of willy-nilly. So I think that it's been beneficial for a lot of communities, for events, for special things that they want to do.
A lot of the restrictions, doesn't it?
Yeah, and but it also, it gives you a little bit more restrictions that you need to have your Dora cup out there, and there's a reason for that. And businesses that maybe don't want you to walk in with your Dora cup, they have that on their front door, or if they don't care, they have that on their front door too. So it just gives you a little bit more freedom.
Are these door cups gonna be like lifetime?
No,
It's gonna look better than the mayor's.
it's gonna look better than his pretend cup, yes.
Okay, now I have a serious. I can't believe this is amazing. Is this the paper that you're going to be providing for us and other people to talk about?
We might alter that a little bit
Because
for
this is why I
specific.
want to know, because on number 3, it says no juggling beverages here.
And
No, I
this
mean,
is
we're doing
the
can,
rule
we're doing-
from the state. At any given time,
but
one
says-
person cannot take more than 2 drinks with them. So no.
So what I don't understand, juggling is juggling, like circus.
That was a serious question.
That was a serious question.
Like Randy had
I think we need to
a
change
money
that.
game.
I think we need to change that. First. I don't think anybody.
I
Right.
must be deep. I always get stuck dry.
Can we move on now, folks?
I think so.
We've got a little astray.
Mr. Gaff, would you like to share some of your excitement that you had last week?
Yeah.
You've been,
Yeah, our collapsed sewers, most of you know, on Stocker Street. It's a complete replacement from structure to structure, 444 feet.
Wow.
It was moving along fine till Thursday. They found concrete under the road about the size of a small car. So they broke most of it up today They had to go get a breaker. It was actually flowable fill, but it's concrete. So it was wrapped around storm lines and sewer lines and everything else. So they had to break that all out, hand dig everything out, and maybe tomorrow we'll get moving on. So hopefully they will have it done this week as far as the pipes all hooked up, and we will not have to manually pump out of the manhole anymore, hopefully. They've been doing a good job of trying to get it hooked up to where it'll flow through the night, but all last weekend it didn't flow very well, so we were pretty cautious after a resident's home got flooded out. So we pumped all weekend as well to be sure it didn't happen, plus we plugged their drains in their basements as well. So that's where we stand now.
Thank you.
Sue, you got anything for us?
Oh, no.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Mitch, any fun that you've been having lately?
I can't top Jeff, so.
Don't try. That turned into a real mess now. Nothing? Chief, you got anything for us?
Want to thank council and yourself for allowing me to buy new furniture for the officers and our sergeants. We got it delivered last week and it is fantastic, and can't wait to start using it once our computers come in. But I just want to say thank you for that, because that is something we've been waiting.
Heavy duty, so when Brian has to sit down, he's not breaking anything.
I'll be careful.
Be careful now. All right, Chief, thank you very much. We're gonna move right
When he shakes my hand, my hand is crushed.
Request approval of the House of Accounts payable voucher 78,855 through 79,089, totaling $1,370,225.71, which includes interfund transfers of $50,308.
I move that we allow Ryan to pay the bills.
Second. Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, any other new business this evening?
I have this recurring problem. As I am taking my doctor-ordered walks, I see these phone boxes in our neighborhood that are just torn up. Utility boxes, and I'd like to have you guys would go around, take a look in your districts, and let's get a handle on those, because they look like crap. And we just need to get those cleaned up. And I know when I talked to Reith about it, she volunteered to be the point person on that. But if you find some of those boxes, they're just sitting there and they need to be cleaned up or taken away.
I assume they're all abandoned, have been abandoned in place, I don't know. but-
Some of them are, Scott Stevens, some of them just have the tops off. Scott put some back, but some, usually they have numbers on them. And I have a contact at Verizon or Frontier that I can send them to, but several of them that Dave had
Or
pointed
just
out,
nothing.
it has no numbers. I don't have a way to identify them with Frontier, Verizon.
Well, there's even wires hanging on poles that have been abandoned, that are hanging down and unsightly.
But you're asking people to come to our city and say what a beautiful town you live in. We have a beautiful town. All of a sudden you see this looks like,
Yeah, beautiful.
not beautiful. Couldn't come up with a place for hee-haw.
What will we do with this stuff? That's what, I mean, vigilante, just go get it and take a hammer to it, or what? What do you wanna do?
Well, if she talks to Verizon or whoever, they come and take care of it, hopefully. If not, do we?
Because some of that stuff's GTE, which, there's like, who in the heck takes care of that old stuff?
Don't they have that assigned when they buy it out? They've got the obligation that comes with it. When Verizon bought GTE and then Frontier bought Verizon and now Verizon bought Frontier.
What requirement is there for them to remove obsolete infrastructure?
There's
that's
a
no longer
bulk
used?
sales act that applies even to those guys. It says that you have the liability of the person unless you do certain things. Joe probably knows about the bulk sales act. They have the liability to take that on, I think. Unless they've done lots of stuff to notify everybody that exists and not taking it on.
So what would we do? Create an inventory and then call them and say, we want this stuff removed?
And if you see them, if there's a number on the box or something, that's the best way, the location and the number, yes.
All right.
Yes.
If you, I just think that this is a good time to do it as everybody's getting clean, because we got, people have garbage out still out in front of their yards that for full pickup. Now is the time to, let's get this all cleaned up for the summer.
Wrap around it.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Hearing none, next council will be Monday, April 6th, 2026. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I get a picture, I'll send it to you.
Isaac.
Wow. Time for this?
Thank you.
For you, that's-
Your PTO. Here's another one for a year.